All right, everyone. I am finally live. I can't wait to interact with all of you. And so it looks like somebody's on already. This is a very special topic. You know, I like to introduce my live saying that it's all important topic here. I got asked this recently and it makes sense. It's like, why was this not a topic to begin with? Obviously, we've got to talk about this. When your twin flame comes into your life and it seems like everything's going okay, and then suddenly this person just vanishes and things like that. Okay. So the question I got asked here, let me see if I can move this around so I'm more centered. All right. With what I'm looking at. Okay. This is good. All right. So hi, Krista. And it says Facebook user. Hello. Okay. It happened to you before. Maybe it happened multiple times. This person comes in and they just seem to like exit out. And you're like, I don't get it. I've been doing everything right. I feel like my energy is balanced. I get this. I get this. I'm doing all this researching. I'm looking up all this stuff. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. But then they come in and they disappear again and stuff like that. All right. We're going to uncover this. We're going to go deep. Okay. We're definitely going to go deep. Okay. So when this person comes in, or you're guided to reach out to your twin flame, maybe you're the one who's guided to initiate contact. It's because your energy is balanced in some kind of way, or perhaps they're coming in to kind of like balance you out some more. All right. And I moved from Facebook to here. Okay. And okay. So when they come in, you're balanced somehow. Then they show up. And the very thing that I want you to take notice when this happens is, how is your energy? What thoughts are you having? Okay. And you can share with me, ask questions. If you're like, I can't figure this out, 𝐿𝐿, I did all that. Just ask the questions and we'll get to them. And I'll help you understand why these things happen. A lot of times when I'm not going to go in order because I didn't prepare this. I'm just explaining this from soul. I'm explaining this from the bottom of my heart, what happens in this connection. So when your twin flame comes in, perhaps you had left yourself somewhat and became more about this person. Because remember, this is an energetic connection. It has a lot to do with your energy. And I'm going to go through how your energy has always been a factor with all of your connection, not just your twin flame. So when we are around somebody that we feel so much for, we have like all these feelings and stuff like that for the person, what do we tend to do? We start thinking about them. We start fantasizing. Oh, it feels so good to be doing all of this stuff. We kind of forget ourselves. Okay. You might be like, 𝐿𝐿, that's not me. Don't worry. We're going to get to you. And ask your questions if I don't get to you, because I want you to understand what happens here. This isn't a twin flame thing. It has always been with anyone. Think about when you first interact with someone, okay? You're getting to know each other and maybe you're not really feeling them that much and that kind of stuff. You're feeling yourself a whole lot more. You're taking care of yourself. You're doing all this wonderful stuff for you. And then slowly over time, you do less things. And then this person starts to slip away, or it feels like they're pulling away. So then what do? I have to do more to try to get them to stay. So perhaps you're thinking about them, you're thinking about what to do, and you've put yourself to the side because you just have to figure this out. And it becomes a whole lot more about them. And what usually happens is that they keep slipping. Now, if this is someone who's in your life and they have a specific thing that they're looking for, that's not love, like somebody who is using you, let's just say, could be someone narcissistic, and you fit that criteria, you fit whatever it is that they're looking for, they're not likely to disappear And they're going to just let you keep doing all this chasing, thinking, feeling, doing, losing your mind over them for their benefit. Now, in a twin flame connection, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. So when you're distancing yourself from this person, they show you that. You have to remember this is an energetic connection with yourself. It's not even twin flame related. It's always been that way. The people in your life, the people who've been there, have been in energetic connection with you. It's just that your twin flame is the biggest one. So when this person, is there in your life, you begin to slip away from yourself, they distance. It's always been that way. Always been that way. So that's one possibility. Another one is, okay, I'll help you understand what's happening when they come in. Because when your twin flame returns, automatically you're like, we're in this relationship. The relationship is unfolding. Okay. I see relationship, it's here. When the universe told me that I was in reunion, I'll go get him. I certainly had in my mind, okay, maybe I wasn't aware that I was thinking this way, but I was like, all right, well, we're together. Universe says we're together. We're working on this, right? And then you just see relationship. Now, there's a problem with that, because when you think about a relationship, you're having expectations. You're probably overanalyzing, overthinking it. And it should look like this. How am I going to proceed? What am I going to say? Maybe you start planning out these different things. All right. These expectations create a push energy, because now it's like this concentration on this person. And you have the energy of the connection, which is another one I'm going to get to. Okay. The energy of the connection combined with the expectation that you're having that's supposed to happen mixed together, and the energy is too much. It's like, whoa, what is this? When your twin flame comes in, don't think about it being a relationship. Every ideology and ideas, society's ideas and whatever about relationship is going to creep up in there. Like they're supposed to call every day. They're supposed to do this. They're supposed to this thing has never worked with anybody, not even your ex. Did you have that experience? I know I do. I'm raising my hand. You're supposed to make me happy. You're supposed to. Oh my goodness. When I look back at the things I used to tell my ex, I'm like, oh, okay, this is why we heal, right? This is why we heal from that experience. And so no one owes you anything. They're not supposed to do anything. And when I teach, because I know some people get this confused with manifesting, which I was guided by the universe when it comes to this connection. This is not textbook. Okay. The universe has said manifest him. Manifesting has a lot to do with your subconscious mind, with the things that you are telling yourself. For example, if you say we're separated, my twin flame and I are separated, you manifest separation. We're together, we're one, which is what you are. And you believe that you're one, and you live as though there's one. Guess what? There's one. That's how that works. It is not about, I'm going to get this person to do what I want to do, so I'm going to stay here and say all these affirmations and it better show up in the physical. And you're looking and you're like, where is it? I need proof that what I'm manifesting is working. And anything, I don't care what it is, even if you're manifesting money, if you're looking for proof, you're not going to find it. The universe doesn't work this way. It doesn't. You really have to take your focus off of whatever it is that you're trying to have, what you're trying to create, and put your focus on other things, on creating happiness and joy and all this kind of stuff, not on that thing. When you do that, it creates a push energy. And I don't care what it is. If it's money and you're like, where is money? When is money going to show up? How do I make money happen? Money, 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 money. Guess what? It doesn't come. Gotta look away. All right. And so then why is it so hard when you ask them out to have that relationship? All right. This is a perception. This is a perception that it's hard. Okay. So the moment you're having that idea that this is hard, then it looks that way. When you're guided to make whatever moves in this connection, like you intuitively receive this guidance because they are guided too. This is the thing that sometimes we overlook with the, let's say, divine masculine, but it can be the divine feminine, is that they are guided as well. And so sometimes we feel like we have to be the ones to do the work, right? While disregarding the fact that they're receiving guidance too. You don't have to do all of the work. You don't. Okay. But if you are guided to reach out, and whatever your guidance looks like, that's all you're doing is just following that guidance and letting it go. Let it go. No overthinking. Like, don't think about it. Don't sleep on it. Nothing like that. Let it go. So I'll let you know how you can let it go. When your twin comes in, and this is long haul, like everything I'm describing here is not temporary. You're not balancing your energy, staying within, staying connected with yourself just to get this person in. And then once they're through the door, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm grabbing the reins and I'm going to do everything and make it happen. No, this is permanent. This is for how you can stay in permanent reunion with your twin flame. So when you're interacting, well, in the beginning, it will be like this until you become used to this. Because I'm telling you that what works in this connection. I see it over and over and over again. Okay. And so when this person comes in, get out of your mind that you're developing a relationship with them and move into that you're balancing your energy, you're seeing yourself, you're connecting with yourself because they show you your connection with yourself. So if your twin flame is distancing, there's a part of you that's still focused on them. And they can feel that energy and they're like, I don't know. It feels tough. I'll go over why it's hard for the divine masculine to handle the connection and the energy. There is a connection in the energy. And when you add to that energy, I mean, there is an energy in the connection. There's an energy in the connection. And when you add to it by thinking about them, worrying, feeling anxious, all this kind of stuff, it adds on top of it. And what they receive on the other end is, what is that? Please stop that. And then they're running from it because it just feels like it doesn't feel right. The only real way to know what your twin is going through on the other end of that energy is if you've experienced it yourself. If you haven't experienced it, then take a moment to be in their shoes and understand that this is a connection that they have no idea unless they research it. They don't know what's going on. This pull is like something out of, I don't know, Twilight Zone. I'm hearing witchcraft. Some of them are like, you cast a spell on me. Like, what is this? And they don't understand it. And one way to help with that is when you balance your energy, don't feed into that energy. Balance it out. So it's easier for them to proceed, to move forward. Because your twin flame wants to come forward. I know some of you might be like, I don't think this person really wants to. What are you talking about, Isheen? No, they do. They do. Because I'm going to tell you this. When God has told you you found the one, you're not the only one who felt that. Okay? You're just like, even if they don't understand it, they're like, what is this connection? Like, What is this about? Why am I drawn to this person? Like, why I can't stop thinking about this person? It's like I try everything to move away from this connection, and it finds me everywhere I go. So of course, this person is going to want to come forward and find out, what is this about? Why do I feel love for someone I don't even know? Why are they telling me they love me? They don't even know me, and all of this kind of stuff. You know, your twin flame wants to come in and figure stuff out. But when that energy is like blasting in their face, or sometimes I call it a blowhorn. It's like a blowhorn when your energy is so much on them. It's like a blowhorn that just keeps ringing in their ear, and they're like, make it stop. Okay. So it is a connection with yourself. Get out of the idea that you're building a relationship here. You're balancing your energy, aligning yourself, you're watching your thoughts. Your thoughts play a key role in this, because when you have negative thoughts around your connection, it comes across as instructions for this person. That's how the universe works. Blame the universe. Don't blame them. Anytime you're like, they don't like me, they don't really like any of these negative thoughts, they're not going to answer my call, I don't think they will. Guess what? They get it as don't call, don't reach out, don't go forward, because you share a subconscious thoughts. They're picking up on this. You can't hide from yourself. You know, this is something I learned from the universe. The universe was like, you need to stop that. The moment I had one little negative voice come in, they're like, 𝐿, it's that is a problem. You know, when I was getting ready to dial text, send a text, and I'm like sweating, I'm like, he's not going to answer. The universe was like, you need to stop that right there. And I'm telling you, down to every single nitty gritty negative thought ever that you have about this connection is giving your twin flame instructions. And we can start by this whole, we're separated. Get rid of that. You just told your twin flame, stay away because we're separated. And the universe honors everything you say to yourself. So if you believe you're separated, guess what? You know, the universal laws step in and say, okay, we make it true or appear to be true. Because the universal laws don't stop working. I recommend you get to know them. Okay, I mostly focus on the law of assumption, manifestation, and attraction, thought transmission, those. But there's more. Get to know them because they're always working. I'm going to stop for a little bit and read some more here. So Miss Amway says, how can you deal with this when you were together before and now you're in this gray area? Will we continue as a couple or we are not doing that again? Okay, good question. I always say this. When you're doubting that this person is going to come back, ask yourself, has your twin flame returned before? That pattern doesn't stop. There's a reason for that pattern. It just doesn't really stop. Chances are your twin's coming back. And what happens after that matters so much. And this is why healing is important, so that you're identifying your patterns and how you connect with others and how you allow others to connect with you. This isn't just a twin flame thing. I always say when you're healing, you practice this with the people around you. Don't wait for your twin flame to come in because they're just going to highlight those things extra. Okay. So how do you deal with it? Another way is to go with your intuition. This connection, when you want it to go long term, you can't do this 3D stuff. Looking at the physical and wondering and just watching everything that they're doing. You got to take it up a notch and look at it from a higher perspective. Look at it from a soul level, from your soul inner knowing. That's why this aligning with your soul just helps so much more, because you're able to connect with yourself inside, hear what's going on inside, and the guidance that you receive inside of you, not outside. Because if you look outside, It's a hot mess out there, okay? You're going to be like, what on earth are they doing? No. Then the ego kicks in because that's what happens. The 3D is ego stuff. And then you're going to treat this connection like you've been treating other connection. Like you're doing this, like why are you acting like this and all this kind of stuff. Move into a higher perspective and hear your inner guidance there and connect with your love from a higher perspective, I should say. From a higher perspective. There's so much I can say about this. It's a whole nother video in its own. Perhaps I will do that next week. Teach you how to love from a higher perspective and seeing the positive in this person instead of always looking for the negative. Sometimes we're always looking, oh my God, like, oh, they did it again. And we overlook the positive things. We train our mind to see everything negative and none of the positive that's happening. All right, so you're in this gray area. You believe you're in a gray area. As long as you're healing, they're healing too. Okay, this is my observation. Anybody might say, nope, that's not true. You know, it's one soul. It's not 2, 3, 4, it's just one. When there's a shift within you, they shift because you share a soul together. The soul exists in two bodies. Sometimes even for you, when they shift, you feel it. You're like, oh my goodness, I've been trying to get rid of this bad habit and suddenly it just disappeared. It's gone. Because they did some sort of healing too that benefited your union, your oneness and things like that. Okay? So it is a perception that things aren't changing and that you're in a gray area. You're probably not. You're probably moving towards a better area and you just have to believe and trust that that's happening. Okay, it's those negative voices that want to tell us that nothing's working. You know, I don't believe nothing's working. And so now a lot is coming out about the past that hurt me so bad from time to time. Just don't want him anymore. Then I'm okay again and accept that I do want to be with him despite the things he did. Whoa, this is a whole nother video too. You know, I'm going to have to remind myself to do a video around this because if I explain this, we're going to be here for a while. Okay. The things from the past, they hurt. I get it. They're painful. The way I look at this is, okay, any connection you have, not just with your twin flame, is a product of where you were at that time in life, your energy, your vibration, your thoughts. Every connection you've had was a mirror of that, including your twin flame. And so back then, perhaps you hadn't started healing, you haven't taken a look at your trauma, your triggers, and you haven't learned how to handle those things. And stuff was happening on a subconscious thoughts. Maybe you were having fears and things like that. He will show you those things. And he will always show you these things. And before you get up, any of you get upset and say, I don't want to do this twin flame thing anymore. Let me get into a connection with someone else. I'm going to let you know that it's not them. It's not them. So when you jump into another connection, you're like, forget the twin flame. I'm going somewhere else. All this fear is still there. You're feeling triggered. You haven't healed where you push away love because love feels painful. Love is going to hurt me. Love is going to cheat on me. Love is going to, all of this kind of stuff is not healed from your body. And you move into another connection, it repeats itself. So this is not a twin flame thing. The things that happen in the past are a mirror of where you were, what you know, what cultural learning you've had, generational teaching that you've experienced. That's all in your subconscious mind. And you're like, I want to experience connection. I want a relationship. I'm ready. And your subconscious mind is like, nope, this will happen, this, that. And guess what happened? They showed up. And now you're like, it's their fault. I've been there. When I realized my marriage with my ex was all a product of what was happening in here, I was like, wow, I could have had a different story. But everything happens for a reason. They do. And so because the the past showed you where you were, it's where he was too. Takes two to tango. It's a mirror. You're both mirroring each other to some degree. Perhaps he mirrored your experience with one of your parents, your dad. You mirrored his experience with probably like his mom, generally speaking. You're both showing each other stuff. That's why triggers are something that you work on. You look at it and you heal, and your twin does the same as well. Okay. And all right, so you've done some healing, maybe. You're taking a look at things, and perhaps you're meditating and you're doing things differently. Chances are your twin flame is doing that as well. And then when the two of you come back together, you're not in the same place because you're not in the same place. You've healed yourself from these patterns. You like, this is example, okay? This is why healing matters. Like, you might hear healing doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. These patterns don't go away on their own. You really need to take a moment to look at them and heal them. And then you reach a point where you're no longer tolerating what happened in the past. Whatever it is that he did to you, you can feel it on a cellular level. Not me anymore. Okay. And then he's in a different place. So you're not going to hold him forever in the past. Keep him in the past. You did this to me. You did that. Back then, you did it to me and stuff like that. Perhaps it takes two to tango. He might have some stories about what he experienced too that made him feel hurt and stuff like that. You work on you can communicate and work on healing that. You can heal individually or as a couple together and decide if you're moving forward or not. Okay? And if you say you don't want him anymore, I get it. Sometimes it's an emotional roller coaster. And I see it with couples too. They're like, I'm done with this person. And then a couple days later, 1 week later, a month, maybe the universe comes in and says, I don't think so. and has you dreaming about them, seeing their name everywhere, repeated numbers. I don't know what it is. And you're feeling their energy. This is the reason why I do what I do, because I know that's a lot easier said than done when it comes to twin flames. You can be like, I don't want this anymore. And the connection finds you. It finds you, it finds them. So I just truly recommend healing. If you're in this moment where you truly feel like you don't want him, love yourself. Don't force yourself. I'm a big believer, don't force yourself with anything that you are not ready for. Not at all. Okay? And just work on healing the parts of yourself that played out in this so-called separation, whatever led up to that. Your inner child, however, whatever it is, what it looks like to you, work on healing that and let everything else work itself out. All right. And hey, Facebook user. All right. When we met, we got together right away because I even knew what twin flame means. And since the breakup, he's been back on my mind. I just think we are those kind of people that can't let go. It's the connection. It's a connection. Okay. And it's been amazing watching us grow in unity. I totally agree with shifting. All right. So I do want to stay close to the topic tonight, staying in connection. Rather than saying, how do I stay in connection with this person? Begin to say, how do I stay in connection with myself? And I know it's a difficult concept to grasp. You're like, I don't get it. I see their physical body. Like, I want them. I want to stay in connection with them. Remember what I said. The people outside of you mirror how you are connecting with yourself, how you're connected there. That's all it's ever been, guys. This whole journey of your life, your connection with other people have been how you are connected with yourself and how you allow others to connect with you, not about them. They only mirror that to you. So when you have a connection with yourself, you're present in your body, you're loving yourself, you're nourishing your soul, your emotions, you're nourishing yourself spiritually, whatever that looks like to you. They stay in connection with you because guess what? You're connected with yourself, right? Not them, not the physical body. And that's a confusing concept in itself, too. You're like, I can clearly see them. Like, what do you mean, not their physical body? Let's take twin flame out of this, the title twin flame away, because sometimes things feel confusing when we add that title, or twin flame, my twin flame. No, connection. This is what it's always been. It's not this person. Your twin flame is not the first one that mirrors your connection with yourself. Now, if you lose connection with yourself, you're putting other people first. You're people pleasing. Yeah, you don't honor your own feelings. I'm moving away from boundaries. I'm really not using the word boundaries, and there's a reason why. Because in boundaries, we manifest that stuff. I need them to respect me, and they better act like this. It creates a barrier. So let's say feelings. You're honoring your feelings. What's going on inside of yourself, right? If you're not doing any of that, you feel awful. You feel like crap. But you're like, I love you. Let me give you all this love and that kind of stuff. Let's talk about run, run, run. They're running because there's something, because you're distancing from yourself. That's one. You've left yourself and attached to them, to anything outside of yourself. This happens with money too. I love throwing money in there just to offset this whole twin flame. Let's focus on this one person thing. If you're focused on it, it won't come to you. You've got to take your energy away and be within yourself and be in the flow of being in yourself as well. And when you're in the flow, it flows in. Whatever it is, it just flows in. Your energy is feeling great. And guess who shows up when you're not even thinking about them? And then you're like, how is that possible? Because I think about them all the time. The universe will slip them right in there. It'll be one of these days you're just like feeling yourself and they're the farthest thing from your mind. And then you look at your phone, there's a text message and you're like, what? And the text message was like an hour ago and you missed it. You weren't even looking for it and stuff, because whenever you were looking for it, it never came. And then now you're just like, you're in a better space. And it was an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. And you're like, when? I didn't even hear my phone, because that's how the universe works. I'm telling you, money is the same way. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. And be in the flow. And then cha-ching is right there. All right. So it's how can you stay connected with yourself? It's also clearing your energy as well. Our energy gets affected by our environment, by the people around us, by anything really. We absorb stuff that's not ours, negative energy, and it can affect your connection. And so just because you get together with this person, when they show up, doesn't mean you stop meditating, you stop cleansing, you stop doing different things for yourself. And I always say, do it for you. Come out of you doing it for them. I want you to think of yourself as a superstar. I want you to think of yourself as like a rock star, whatever it is. So you can bring this attention on yourself. There's so much to you for you to discover. There's a whole person inside of you that you haven't fully explored and come to know and brought out into the world and things like that. And when you're focusing on them, you're missing out on a whole world of you. Okay? A whole world of you has been wanting to feel connected with you. So yeah, you're doing that where you're cleansing your energy, you're connecting with yourself, you're really getting to know yourself. Okay. And all right, so the other thing, okay, with the energy being inside of your body, it's I told you I didn't prepare this ahead of time. The balance energy. What comes with balance energy? What does that mean? You're like, what on earth is a balance energy? All right. When you're feeling worried, anxious, scared, you're having fear, worries, doubts, how is your energy? I bet you your energy is like, oh my goodness, like I'm so afraid. That's how your energy is going, right? That's how your energy is going. And who else is going to react to that? Your biggest mirror. Well, you, I should say you, because your twin is you. One of these days, it's going to like really click. I hope when I say it enough times, you're just like, okay, it's just me. So because this person is just me, I will focus on me. And my outside world will reflect that because it's just me. So when you're worried, anxious, and all this kind of stuff, and your heart's pounding, your mind is racing, your twin flame can't show up because that's happening to them too. They're picking that up on top of the energy of the connection. And so you maintain a balanced energy and you clear your mind of anything. Okay? I always say you choose positive thoughts or just don't think at all. Just don't think about your connection and let things be. You know, my favorite saying is I'm open and ready to receive from the universe, from God. I'm totally open to my blessings. And you can use that with anything in life. Use it with money. I'm just open. No control, no expectation, no worries, nothing. Just open. And you're like, 𝐾𝐿, how on earth do you have a connection when you're not doing anything and you're just, or like, I don't understand that concept. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed when there isn't that push energy. Sometimes I don't like using that word because I'm a big supporter of what you would call chaser. I don't know how else to describe it. Those running away from themselves. I'm a big supporter of you, and I hate to say things that put you down because I truly believe that there's a reason why certain things happen the way they do in this connection. There's a reason why one person is so-called chasing, and there's a reason why one is so-called running. It's all part of it. You can't have one without the other. And there's a reason why your soul is just like, I want them, let me figure this out, I want them, is because it's helping you to grow. It's helping you to be in balance and to identify patterns within yourself that have not been working in connection. Because if you didn't have this pull towards a particular person who's meant for you, and you can feel that, you wouldn't be here watching my video trying to figure out what to do with this connection, right? If there was no pull whatsoever, you're just like, they can do whatever they want with their life, I don't even care, you wouldn't be here. So there's a reason why you're here. And I'm never going to say it's a bad thing. It's a good thing that you're learning what to do with yourself. You're learning how to be in connection with someone. You know, it's all a part of the journey. Everything happens. Like if you notice how one story is the same with another story, it's like you can talk to someone else or read a post someone else wrote and be like, that's me. It's as if I wrote that. I share my story and a lot of people say, oh my goodness, wow, I went through that. Do you think it's just a coincidence? I truly believe it's all part of the journey. And it's okay. It's okay. And keep learning, guys. Keep learning, healing, growing. You're on the right path. You definitely are. All right. And okay, so with the balancing energy, again, it's not a twin flame thing. It's always been that way. Your past relationship, you're just like, oh my goodness, what are they doing? Who are they with? What's going on? And did you ever go through that? I know I did. I know I was like crazy obsessed with my ex, though, not really with my twin. My ex-husband, looking out the window, doing all kinds of crazy funky stuff that I would hate to describe here. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Not knowing just how much that energy throws off connection so bad. So bad. When you have fear, you've got to work on healing that, because there's no connection that's going to happen where you feel really connected with someone in a healthy, beautiful way where you're both growing together is going to happen when you're afraid. And I say fear is a normal part of life, don't get me wrong, but when you let it overtake you to the point where it consumes your mind, your body, your activities, you can't seem to think, you can't think right, you're having anxiety, panic attacks, and all this kind of stuff, it's hard to connect with others. All right. And okay. Why? Okay. So, what happens when you're going about your day and focus on you, and then all of a sudden you feel intense energy coming from your, oh, excuse me, OS? I usually hear SO, like specific person, but OS, I'm not quite sure. I was in a course and focused on that, and then all of a sudden I felt panic come over me and felt like I was going to have other self. Okay, thank you. And felt like I was going to have a mental breakdown and was holding back the tears. I couldn't do anything at that moment as I was in the course, but afterwards I pulled back my energy and felt better. Was that the right thing to do, or do you have any suggestions? Hey, if you felt better, it was the right thing to do. When you have energy that comes out of nowhere, most of the time it's not you, it's them or someone else whose energy you have picked up. Your intuition will tell you. If it's, I always hear, I don't know where that came from. I was feeling completely fine. I was relaxed. Energy came over me, and I don't know. If you're saying, I don't know, it's not yours. Okay. It's your other self, like you mentioned, and you're feeling it. You do feel each other's energies and emotions, and sometimes each other's illnesses or whatever. You do feel that in this connection. Now, if you have no question in your mind, you're like, that's definitely me. Boy, was I having a bad day. I really don't feel well today. Then chances are that's you. It could still be a mutual thing, but whenever you're questioning yourself, that's your other self. And if you are in connection, you can pick up the phone and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, what just happened here? You all right? You can do something like that. When you're not so much in connection, I feel like what you did was fine. You're able to bring yourself into some sort of balance. You can do like a meditation to help out with that energy, some sort of clearing, balancing, and so forth. I find that it helps because it's a shared energy. It's kind of like the two of you are working together. It's you working with yourself. You're in partnership with yourself. So it does help. When you are more balanced, does this happen less often of feeling their energy? Yeah. And both of you will be more balanced. And when I do feel when both of you have healed, but it takes one person to do this work and it helps the other, but it certainly does help better when each of you have experienced some sort of healing, healing how you handle triggers, healing from the ego, not letting the ego, and that's another one too, the ego. Oh, we got to go over this one. So I got a couple more things to go over with this for maintaining what I have noticed that helps to maintain long-term connection. Okay. And so, yes, it can happen less often. And will this have a recording? Oh, absolutely. This is going to be up on YouTube. It'll be available. I won't take it down. So, the other thing I have noticed through this work I do with many couples and things like that, even through my own experience, is thinking positive about your twin flame. Okay. And so, the ego likes to destroy things. Like, for example, if let's say your person has said something and you're just like, what? What on earth did they just say? And you're like ready to go to war. Or maybe you come into this victim mindset like they're doing something to me when they're really not trying to. Perhaps this person is in their own mind is had a bad day. I don't know. Whatever it is that was going through them and stuff just came out. And you're just like, it's battle time. Okay. Doesn't work in this connection. It really doesn't. This is where I was talking about loving from a higher perspective. You're like, okay, I feel like maybe something's going on here with this person, and have a talk instead. This is a skill to master. This really does require that you're able to manage your triggers. And I try to find a different word for manage, because it's not like you're being a manager and you're structured like I have to do it this way, but you're able to handle your triggers in a certain way that allows you to stay connected with them when they're going through what they're going through. And instead of always nitpicking and finding the negative in your person, try to find more positive things too. Be like, okay, my person is not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But they, I don't know, fill in the blank with a few positive stuff about them. And you can do this with anyone. I always like to include anybody. Sometimes our mind will go there. Like, I'm going to kick this person, give him one kick. No domestic violence. I'm just saying. Sometimes your mind is just like, but then bring it back. Bring it back into, all right, higher perspective. Okay. And that's one technique I find that truly helps couples. It helps them to shift out of why they're doing, like always looking for that, which is a sign of fear of attachment, by the way. If you're constantly finding some sort of fault in someone, in your person, you're afraid of making that connection with them. And that does require healing. All right. And definitely removing your focus on them and being a lot more on you. People have told me that helped them a lot. And they were able to do that through experience. It's like that constant struggle trying to be together and eventually realizing I got to let go. I have to let go and live my life and let them live their life. And we meet halfway, but I need to let go of the control, let go of holding on to the reins, and just really let it go. And the energy and the connection just feels so much better when you are both able to be yourself and able to move at, and I see at a pace that's like comfortable, but you have to meet them where they're at. Like if they're at step 2 and you're at step 10, can't be at step 10 when they haven't caught up yet. All right. True story. I'm telling you, I see it all the time. Like, I'm ready for a relationship. And they're like, I'm just getting to know you. What do you mean a relationship? I don't even know who you are. I feel it energetically. I know it spiritually, but in the physical, I don't know yet. Let's slow it down. And so that you will do that and slow things down. Okay. All right. And yeah, so those are the suggestions there. And let me see what else. Alrighty. And, ask your questions if there's something that I didn't cover that you would like to know about. I certainly don't want to leave this without giving you guys some real advice for when your twin flame is in the picture, some real advice. Okay. I mean, all this was real advice, but like narrow it down and break it into something real simple for you to follow, because that's how much I really care about you guys. You guys need to know these things. Get out of thinking it's a relationship. It is a connection with yourself. Stay in connection. Be mindful of your energy and your thoughts. Okay? If your energy all over the place, like bring it down and clear your thoughts. Allow the connection to unfold on its own. No control, like nothing. And when you're following your intuition, you choose to actually follow it. We do a lot of resisting, like, I can't do that. The spirit says I need to, like, my intuition is guiding me to, there's just no way. Heal that. Okay. That does require healing. It's a major fear of rejection. And the fear is there, it's showing you something unhealed within yourself. And begin to connect with your intuition and stay aligned with yourself, because connection, your relationship is a reflection of you and your connection with yourself. Always remember that. Okay. Always remember that this is a connection with you and how you allow yourself to experience connection, experience love unconditionally, like really opening your heart and your mind to connection without having to tell yourself all this negative stuff that actually pushes away connection. You don't need any of that. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. And I'll have to, I don't watch my videos again, but this one I did mention a couple of videos that I will have in the future. Feel free to comment anything that you want me to talk about. And I love that you are here, you participated. And oh, by the way, I do have to mention that my Attract Your Twin Flame and Manifest Your Dreams 14-day challenge started today. I'm going to leave that open today for you to register. I give you the tools for a lot of this stuff. You get it within one challenge, and it's amazing. It's going to transform how you see this connection, and you'll know so much more of what to do moving forward. Okay. And anyone who had joined the challenge before, I finally have these new videos. They're coming out. Okay. They definitely are, to assist you with balancing more, clearing your energy, connecting with your inner child, and so forth. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.